Hello everyone, I'm Namita and welcome to Yoganama. Today is a rejuvenating, relaxing yoga flow. So join me in Sukhasana, which is sitting like this on your mat. And we are going to begin with a beautiful breathing practice. To start with, I want you to simply close your eyes. Palms can be resting in any way that feels good to you, above the knees. And as always, we will find that connection with our breath. Inhaling and exhaling with awareness, finding a complete connection with your breath, and mentally preparing yourself for the practice, staying focused in the area around your mat and not letting your attention go anywhere else from here. Let's slowly open our eyes. And we'll do a breathing practice like I mentioned. So for that, interlock your fingers, palms facing down. Place your hands on your lap. And I'm going to give you instructions for the first round. So we will take it slow and then we will flow. On an inhale, bring the hands up to the chest. Exhale, push the hands away round the spine. Inhale, lift up, rise up. And exhale, bring the right hand down to bend to the right side. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhale, do the same, bending to the left side now. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring both the hands back behind you. Then inhale, interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, come into a forward bend, bringing your forehead close to the ground, keeping the palms interlocked. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release the hands back to the starting position. Let's do this a few more times. It's lovely to open up the full body. So let's begin. Inhale. Let's do that a few more times now. Inhale, bring the hands up to the chest. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, reach up. And exhale into a side bend. Inhale. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale up. And exhale, take the hands behind. Inhale, interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back. Exhale into your forward bend. Inhale up again. And exhale, release to the starting position. Begin again. Inhale. You can close your eyes now if you would like. It feels very good. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, hand goes up. Left hand comes down as you exhale. Inhale, left hand goes up. Exhale, both the hands go back. Interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back as you inhale and lean forward as you exhale. Inhale, back up. And exhale, come back to center. Now we shall hold for a breath at each step. Inhale, bring the hands up to chest. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, stay in the rounded spine. Inhale here. Exhale here. Then inhale, rise up. Exhale, keep reaching the palms up. Inhale. And exhale, take the hands back behind you. Inhale. Keep reaching back. Exhale. Next, inhale, interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, lift the hands away from the ground. Inhale. And then exhale, lean forward. Inhale here. Exhale. On the next inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring the hand down in front of you. Bring the hands down. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's switch. We are going to bring the hands to either side, to left side in my case, and we are going to come into cat-cow. Let's move into cat-cow for a few rounds. Inhale, look up. So a lot of dynamic breath-based work we are going to do in today's class. Inhale for round 2. Exhale. Keep moving like this, inhaling and exhaling, letting the full length of the spine activate with this breath and this movement. And exhale. From here, come to neutral, and what I want you to do is lean side to side. So I want you to look back to your right heel and then look back to your left. So the shoulders will shift. So I'm shifting the shoulders, trying to get access or a view to the backs of my feet, and in doing so getting a nice stretch to the side body. So lean back as far as you can go, like somewhat like a cow which is trying to look at its tail. So just turning the head, let's do that one more time each side, and then come back to neutral. Now we are going to do figure 8 circles with the body. They seem a little tricky, but they are really calming and relaxing, and you will get them if you just close your eyes and flow with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my hips and shoulders away from each other, as in different directions, and along with cat-cow, add a little bit of sideway movement in the shoulders and the hips. So let's move like this for 3 to 4 rounds before we switch directions. So swaying the shoulders and the hips away in opposite directions to get this movement. And let's switch now. Change the direction. Going to the left with the shoulders and to the right with the hips. Couple more times. And finally, let's come back to neutral and stay here. Then let's sit back onto our heels in Vajrasana, and we are going to continue doing breath-based work. So on an inhale, rise up, and on an exhale, lean to the side to come into child pose. Sideway child pose. Inhale up, and exhale, moving to the left to do a little offset child pose here. Inhale up and exhale to the right, finding control in your movement. Inhale and exhale to the left. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up, exhale to the right, inhale up and exhale to the left. Last time, let's rise up. Exhale to a neutral Vajrasana position, and from here we're going to widen the knees, slide the right hand underneath the chest, bring the forehead to the ground and reach the left hand forward. So giving your shoulder some release, little stretch. Do only as much as is comfortable. If it feels that it's not the very best thing to do right now, then you can also lift the forehead off the ground and rest your forehead on a block, which could look like this. So let's stay here for one more breath. Then press your left hand down on the ground to rise up, and do this on the other side. I'm going to slide the left hand in now. Reach the right hand forward and come into child pose here. Modified child pose. Nice deep stretch for the upper back, which can be modified easily with a block or a thick pillow as well. Let's take one more breath here. And then press the right hand into the ground, left hand on the ground to sit up again and come into Vajrasana. Let's start adding the upper back in this as well. So we go into some shoulder extension. So interlock the fingers behind, roll the shoulders back, and on an exhale, bring the forehead to the ground and reach the hands up overhead. Take a couple of breaths here. This is going to help us in postures like the Camel Pose and the drill or a breath-based kriya that we are going to do shortly. On the next in-breath, let's rise up. Exhale, release the hands. Place your fingers on the shoulders to do some shoulder circles from here, just to get the shoulders nicely mobile and opened up. So what I'm trying to do is trying to bring the elbows to touch, taking them all the way back and trying to get them to touch at the back as well. Couple more before we change directions. And then let's switch. This time I'm trying to go back first and then bring the elbows forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and release, rest the hands down. Let's take 2 blocks. Place the blocks on either side of your feet. So I'm going to adjust and come a little bit to the middle of the mat. So the blocks are at their tallest height. What I'm going to do is on an inhale, I'm going to rise up, press my hands into the block, rather my one hand, right hand, and take the left hand back behind and then sit back on an exhale. Let's do this on the other side. Inhale, rise up, reach, and exhale, come down. So we are going to move with the single hands. We have the blocks. If you don't have the block, you can also simply come onto your toes. So the heels are elevated. You have lesser distance to cover, and you can do this with one hand on the heel at a time, the same way as we were doing with the blocks. But the blocks help to give us a little leverage and something to push down into. So let's go for it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Left hand now. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going like this. Inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. One more round. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Inhale, up. And exhale, back. Let's take a quick break, and we are going to take that break in infinity arms position. So take your right hand up overhead. Take your left hand behind and see if you can make contact between the fingers to hold this position here. If this is not comfortable, you can also use a belt. So let's see if I can grab one. So any kind of belt or even a stole would do. And you can then use the belt to help you find that contact. Let's hold this now just for 2 breaths more, because some of us may have been holding it already for a while. Keep breathing here. And next time you exhale, gently release the hands, shake them out, and let's do this on the other side. Left hand goes up, elbow pointing up to the sky. Right hand goes back behind. Inch your way closer so both hands can make contact. Grip with the fingertips or grab hold of a belt. A yoga belt, a stole, even a towel would do. Let's breathe here. Slow, calming breaths, preparing the shoulder joint for back bending and also helping us reset our posture, especially if we do a lot of desk work in a day. While you're here, just be mindful that you're not thrusting your chest forward, which is how we may compensate in order to get the fingers to touch. So pull the chest back in. Don't let the rib cage flare up, and hold. Let's release on the next exhale. Slowly, gently, and shake the hands out in a way that feels good. Let's come back to our camel pose now, or the variation that we were doing. So keep the blocks again where they were. On an inhale, I want you to reach up. And on an exhale, let's make it a little rhythmic. Come down to go back up on an inhale. So just move continuously. Inhale, back up. Exhale, swivel. Inhale, back up. So you're making the movement a little smoother as you go in and out of this posture. Just a round more. So let's go back. Inhale, exhale, swivel, and inhale, back. Exhale, release, and take a break here. Catch your breath in case you need to, and continue to sit in Vajrasana just for one more breath. Alright, we are going to move to the next part of the practice. For that we need a chair. So grab hold of one. Even a bench would do. And what we are going to do is, we are going to get a blanket as well, or a towel that will allow me to cushion the metallic seat of the chair just a little bit. So this is what I am going to do. Feel free to do a variation at your end. We can always improvise. So what I'm going to do is come into a lunge position, and maybe you can have your blocks as well handy before we begin, just to make it a bit easier. So in the lunge position, this is where I am, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right foot, prop it up on the blanket, on the chair, walk the knee back, front foot forward, use the blocks to rise up. So I will feel a deep stretch in the right hip flexor, in the right quad as well. If this feels uncomfortable, feel free to cushion the right knee, which is the one on the ground for me, and let's hold. Let's sink the hips a little lower. Lower and lower. Keep resting the foot on the back chair or a bench or even a wall. Holding it, breathing into it, and sinking the hips to the ground simultaneously. You can even hold this posture without a chair, in which case your back foot would be flat on the ground. Let's switch now. So turn back, place the left knee where the right knee was, walk the right foot forward. This time the left ankle is resting on the chair. See how it feels on this side, sinking the hips lower, trying to maintain the right knee above the right ankle, creating some distance between the navel and the front quad. So instead of here, that is why we have the blocks, I'm pressing back. Chest is nice and lifted, and breathe. So when we talk about a back bend, it's not just limited to the spine. A lot of the front part of the legs and the hips are also required to be open to have a safe back bend, a back bend that's evenly distributed throughout the spine. And that's what we are trying to achieve in this posture, accessing muscles that may otherwise be difficult for us to release. One more breath here. And then let's step back, bring both the knees to the ground, sit back and take a breather. We are going to keep the chair where it is and then rise up onto our knees. This time grab hold of the edges of the seat of the chair to allow us to find this back bend or a variation of camel pose. So let your hands be resting here, shoulders roll back and look up slightly. Let's be here for 3, 2, 1. Let's finish this breath. And then slowly release the hands and sit back again. Feel free to try the same variation, or if you feel comfortable, let's go for camel pose. So hands on the waist, shift the hips forward, take the right hand up overhead. See if you can find your right heel, left hand up overhead. Reach the left heel and the hips will tend to sink back. I want you to push forward as if you want your hip bones to make contact with a wall in front of you. If it feels comfortable, you can gently release the neck. If it feels comfortable, you can gently release the neck. And let me raise my head up so I can keep talking to you. So stay for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, rise up, sit back in Vajrasana. And breathe. Let the breath settle in. Don't go into a forward bend yet. I know the need will be very strong, but just give yourself a moment. We will fix that need to come into a forward bend if you are going through it. And let's take both the hands up as we inhale. And then on an exhale, look to the right. Look back if you can. Then inhale up. And exhale, look to the left or to the back. So we're doing a mild twist. Inhale one more time. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. And back forward. Let's remove the chair for now because we don't need it, and clear space for the next part of the practice. Alright, let's come into bridge pose. We are going to do supported bridge first. So feet on the floor, knees bent. Take a block and place it under your tailbone. Tailbone is the bony part, the coccyx. Let's place it there and breathe. So this should give you some instant release in your lower back. So if you were craving a forward bend, know that it will give you a similar sensation. It will feel good. And allow your breath to do the rest to complete your relaxation. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Letting go of any tension, stiffness. Back bends can be very energizing, but they can also make us slightly breathless at times. Know that it is normal. So this practice now, right now, what you're doing, will help you counterbalance that. Now let's release the block. Place the hips back on the ground. Keep both the knees bent. And from that position, pull your right knee to chest. Don't straighten the left leg yet, even if you can, even if that's comfortable. Just be here with me for now in this modified Pavan Muktasana and breathe. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Release. Left knee to chest. Pavan Muktasana on this side. One more breath. Release. And then bring both knees to chest, keeping your tailbone on the ground. And gently, very gently pull the knee in a little bit release, pull the knees in and release. So you're tilting the tailbone, or rather the lower back, slightly and then coming back. And from here, we are going to straighten both the legs towards the sky. So feet facing towards the sky, toes pointing towards me, core pulled in, and let's hold this position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release the feet back down and straighten the legs to come into Shavasana. Palms are facing up, slightly away from the body. And let's go back to how we started the practice, which is with breath awareness. So revisit that, reconnect with the breath. Only thing in your awareness is the process of breathing, starting with how the air enters through the nostrils, all the way through the back of the throat and branches out into our lungs, filling them up, energizing them. And how, as we exhale, we release used up carbon dioxide into the environment through the nostrils itself. So travel with the breath, go where the breath goes. Pay attention to it at every step of the process of breathing. The class will end now, but I would encourage you to spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes more at least in Shavasana in silence. And you can always follow up this practice with a pranayam or meditation session as well. Thank you so much for joining me today.